Hey everybody, this is Vandal. I am back. We are here for the last episode, episode 12 of the pop-up, coming up this October 24th. That is Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And I have one of our featured collaborators for this week's final episode. It is Sparrow. Sparrow, how are you?
I'm really well, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to join me. Having these recorded interviews has been really the highlight for me. I would say doing the pop-up this season is really having a chance to talk to people, get to know people a bit better, and also be able to share what you have to say and what's happening in your world with art and everything with everybody who watches it. So like we always do for our interviews, I will ask you to just share a bit about yourself, you know, your backgrounds, maybe where you're from and what you do artistically.
Cool. So before I start, I will say, yeah, the interviews have been one of my favorite things of this season too, because I've got to know people that I'd never heard of before. It's always nice to see new people coming into the space and to get to know them and their story a bit better. So thank you for doing that. It's great for the community, I think. So about me, I'm Sparrow, blackbox.art on Twitter and Telegram. I've tokenized my first work now about 18 months ago at this point, but was actually working on a different blockchain prior to that, prior to Ethereum and NFTs. So I became aware of the blockchain space because I'm a traditional artist, and I was trying to solve the problem of provenance. And blockchain seemed like a good solution. It's not actually there yet for physical objects because the tying of the two records is still not quite solved. However, the exploration of that is what led me into blockchain and what eventually led me to crypto art, and the rest is pretty much history.
Nice, and it's kind of cool that you know that I guess coming from a physical art background in creating using physical tools and items, then you would be looking at a way to how to link those things digitally in terms of ownership. And there have been a few experiments, I think, and a lot of it, from what I've seen, is very trust based. So whereas people promise something after you purchase, say, an NFT, and they say, okay, well, we'll deliver this to you, and then, you know, and you have that sort of promise, but there isn't really any kind of guarantee with that. I know a few people, like, for example, the Meta Factory people who are looking at different ways of tying in like QR codes on physical clothing, apparel, or these RFID chips to kind of, you know, say, okay, this specific garment is owned by this wallet, and then that's kind of all integrated there on RFID chip. I don't know if that's something a lot of people would like to have in their clothes or not, but I think that it's an interesting way to look at it. What are some of the other things that you've seen, like in terms of that connection?
So NFC chips, RFID chips are probably the way to go. I know the Crypto Kaiju guys with their little plastic toys, they embed them with chips, and that seems to work really well. I think you'd need a specific contract, though, that had some way of permissioning the transfer of the physical token, so that you couldn't trade the physical token, the physical artwork, and the NFT, the token of the artwork, separately, right? You'd have to find a way to keep them always linked. And currently the tools just really aren't there. It is all based on trust and what the owner then wants to do.
Yeah, unless you kind of have, I guess the like a miniature hardware wallet where the actual NFT is stored in the item, like in that sense, like a ledger kind of thing, where you're actually storing the keys essentially to the item in the item itself. Maybe that's one way it could be possible, but then um, and maybe an NFT to purchase
But then
that
the
thing
artist
is,
has the keys. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's true as well. So yeah, that's unless you can have some kind of like scratch code or something that you could go in and then a new set of keys would be generated or something along those lines. Potentially, I'm pretty sure there are people working on solving this problem, and it's pretty cool. I think
I hope so.
yeah, in the direction that everything is heading, there I think there really needs to be a good solution on both sides with the physical and the digital pairing of items. In terms of your art, have you done any of that stuff? Have you created an NFT version and attached it to a physical piece?
Not an NFT, no. I started off, it was on a permission blockchain with physical pieces. Um, and so that meant that the records couldn't be transferred between people. So you had to have the physical piece and then you'd scan the chip and it would bring up the record. So it wasn't a tradable entity like an NFT. So in some ways, having NFTs actually complicates things more so than solves them.
Yeah, I guess if you're trying to like I guess put your art on that NFT, but maybe the NFT could just signify the purchase, kind of like a receipt in a way. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the artwork in itself that you know people could then trade. It's kind of just that receipt of having purchased it, like a membership, kind of like what we did with the Toon Pass memberships for the pop up. In that, you know, it's not really a piece of art itself, but it signifies the pieces of art and works that are created in the project, which is again still all like trust based as well, right? Like I hope everybody out there who purchased a Toon Pass trusts me to ensure that they're going to get everything that was promised with the Toon Pass, which is happening at the end of the season. So have no fear, all Toon Pass holders. You'll be getting everything that we have that we've promised. So yeah, I guess those are some of the challenges.
Keep an eye on those gas prices.
I know it's been going down, which is nice. I think gas was like around 30 or something
Yeah,
yesterday. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, it'll be low enough at the time of minting.
fingers crossed.
Yeah. So okay, so let's get into the collaboration with Isaac. Maybe just let the people know how the process was. You know, uh, I don't know how it went, so I'll just leave it for you to tell us.
Yeah, so I mean, we really only exchanged a few emails, but I got links to his SoundCloud, obviously, and also to listen to the song that I did the cover for, and also to his Instagrams to just get a feel for the kind of, you know, images that he liked. And I got it all wrong to begin with. So I sent a couple test images to him, and he's like, oh well, no, I was thinking something a bit more like mountains, and not quite so fancy a font, and just general feedback like that. So and he said he liked glitches. So I took all of those to heart, and I made something with fairly plain fonts, mountains in the background, and lots of glitches.
Nice. I know that you sent it to me, so I'm just going to pretend like I haven't seen it yet, right? So that everybody
Okay.
who's watching this leading up to this Saturday can come and check it out at our Crypto Voxels venue. And so yeah, because it's kind of like I'm fascinated by the ability to collaborate, not just virtually, but like remotely, with people all around the world.
At a distance.
And coming
Yeah.
from a musical background and being all about collaboration, I remember the first times that I was collaborating with people I didn't meet, and like sending files, and and just like interacting over what we've had and the discussions. So I find it's also interesting because these are sort of well, it all falls under art, but then there's the visual element and the music element, and how those two tie together and how they collaborate is kind of that's what interests me, in asking these questions, because everybody has a different story
It
like
was it was
went about it.
really, really interesting though, because I think I looked at Instagram first before I listened to the song. Um, and I listened to some of the other songs also. And this one really is different. It has a real unique quality to it. So it was surprising actually, and unexpected in a very nice way. So I guess that was probably one of the reasons why the feel was sort of off. And I think that his recommendations definitely made the cover better.
Nice. And have you done similar collaborations before at all, like working with musicians or doing any kind of like cover art or that kind of stuff
I
for
did,
music acts?
yeah, I did one, um, but it was for AI generated music.
Oh, nice.
So Hans Benson
Hmm.
did the AI generated several, and I did one of the covers for his music. It was like piano um, melodies. Right? Also very interesting, but very different to this.
Uh-huh. Did you have the same sort of interaction with Hans, like in terms of what the vision was for it, or was it just kind of like, go ahead, do whatever?
Um, well, so yeah, he proposed, well, he was asking for people to design a cover. I said, yeah, that sounds like cool. I was at the time doing AI generated images and said, here, have a look at these and see if there's something that you like. And he picked out one that sort of looked like it had a piano in it, which was kind of cool. And so I played around with that a bit to try and get it more piano-like, through just running it through the AI over and over again. And then I remember we spent a lot of time getting the font right, and the spacing and blocking. Um, this I think benefited from that, because I then understood how album covers were supposed to work.
Hmm. And that the interesting thing is now it's like, with music, how it tends to, I guess, be mostly digital these days. That whole
Mm.
idea of like album artwork, I guess we've kind of gone back to that, vinyl album cover, but maybe just the front of it with one sort of image. And then, with, I think with cassettes and CDs, that kind of allowed more information to be packed into like a booklet, into like the jacket sleeve, or into the insert in your CD, and that you could actually like have this more interactive experience with the artwork, and with the contents, and have access to, like, I remember getting a new CD or a tape, and I'd pop it open, I'd just be looking through the liners and like flipping through the pages, and maybe you get one that's like has like 15, 16 pages, some only have like 2 or 3, 4, and then you have that
Yeah.
experience of going through it. So there's a lot more sort of art creation or art direction involved in producing those sort of, I guess, those art pieces to go along with the music. But
It's a whole
nowadays,
package, right?
yeah, and nowadays we don't really have that so much, and I think that there's that opportunity now, I believe, with with the NFTs to be able to package more things with it, like a booklet, but it be it you know, virtual, like a PDF, and then you could have this whole booklet that tells the story of the project with different art inside it, and it's like this added thing, which I think is cool to have the ability to go back to doing that. A lot
It
of
is
cool things.
definitely cool. Definitely cool, because I remember being excited too. Right, you'd get the CD or the cassette, even my age, and you'd go through that booklet and you'd read all the little notes and you'd get all the in jokes about the band if it was a good one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just that bonus. So you had something to do while you're listening to the new tunes, and yeah, I
And
miss that.
you could actually see what the artists' real names were, or at least their first initial and last name, because on the liner notes they would all have the credits to the songwriters and the producers, and they would put their last names on it. So you're like, oh yeah, oh, that's their last name. Oh wow, you know, before you could search
Yeah,
online, of course, right? um,
yeah, but I was pre-internet, right?
yeah, it's it's a crazy world in this blockchain space, and I know that you've been, you know, involved for quite some time already, but I'm curious to see sort of in this spectrum of art and music and NFTs and stuff. What do you see for the future? Like what's your vision of the future of this space, like in a couple of years or
Yeah.
something?
So, I was just reading something, and it suddenly struck me, right? As human beings, the closest we get to being immersed in something that we can actually experience as immersion is in music, right? Because music surrounds us and it enters us and we can feel it reverberating inside. And that's what it means to be immersed, truly immersed in something like fish are in water, right? And I think that that's such a primal thing. I think we're definitely going to see a convergence of art, visual art, and music to try and make that experience more immersive. So, 3D rendered worlds that have music embedded into them and tokenized as an NFT that someone can then buy, download to their headset, and just be in. So NFTs are gonna be worlds in and of themselves. Experiences, right? So they're gonna be tokenized experiences. Here, go into this world, go into, this experience. And I think that that's a huge opportunity both for visual artists and for musicians, right? To be able to create that experience for individual people. Yeah. And the challenge will be, how do you get that experience shared amongst people? Because the other side of the music experience is that shared experience that you have with everybody else there in the club or in the stadium or in the field or wherever you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's going to be interesting, and I can't wait for it to happen.
Well, it could be happening pretty soon in a couple of different crazy weird ways. In terms of some of the things that I'm not to shill DAOrecords or anything, but you know, there are like some experiments that are being planned out. Um, you know, I always sort of look at myself as, you know, trying to stay ahead of the curve, even though sometimes I might be too ahead that a lot of people don't get it until later, which is fine by me, because you know that's like I get to experiment and maybe help pioneer a new space that benefits other people down the road, which is kind of what I'm hoping that DAOrecords has been doing over the past you know 9 or so months that we've been doing the project. And I've been starting to see that a lot of more people, especially musicians, are coming into the space, looking at the audio. On Twitter today, someone created an account called Audio NFT, and it's essentially tracking all the hashtags, audio NFT hashtags, and reposting. And I messaged him. I was like, "Yeah, this is great. I'm glad somebody's doing this, because we need a way to kind of track the hashtags. Maybe it's nice to have this one, sort of more promo oriented Twitter account that's just, retweeting everything that has an audio NFT hashtag.
Everything.
Yeah, and I think that's really needed, because I think everybody's kind of, as much as we're together as a community, there's still different silos of things happening, and things are so small that, we might not know that there's somebody putting out an audio NFT like somewhere else on another platform in a different way, or in whichever context. And then we can have sort of a central place where we can scroll through, oh yeah, this came out, that came out, great. Like, we try and support each other, I think, as much as possible.
Definitely. But I will say, if you're experimenting in that direction with, immersive stuff, I volunteer to be a guinea pig. Yay. Experiment on me.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. I will definitely share some of the ideas with you once I have them more solidified in my brain.
Sure.
And so, okay, so is there anything else you would like to add? Any like shout outs to people, or any projects that you've got going on you want to share? Now's the time, you have the floor.
So 2 things coming up. One, the 105 Collective is going to be having an auction of our async piece today. It's that Saturday when this is going to be played. So come join us on the Discord, hang out, just look at all of the wonderful art. It's not just our art that's going to be auctioned. There's going to be 5-6 different pieces that day. And it's always a nice, fun party on the Async Discord. So please do come join us. And 2, anyone who identifies as a woman in the crypto art space, please join WOCA. Send me a DM on Twitter or Discord or wherever you can reach me, and I'll get you an invite if you don't already have one. We want to highlight women artists and make them more visible in this space.
That is so awesome. All the links that we can put, we will put in the description below. So if you're watching this, and this will be out before Saturday, all right, we should have it up by Wednesday to do all the pre-promo. Cool. So people who are watching this, make sure to hit the links in the description below, and head on over on Saturday, whatever time it's going to be, for Async, as well as the Women of Crypto Art platform, to hit up Sparrow directly. Thank you so much, Sparrow, for your time. And I'm really looking forward to this Saturday, our finale. It's going to be so awesome. And I really appreciate your time and for being a part of the Pop-Up Season 2.
It's been my pleasure. I love what you guys are doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Take care and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.